Have you ever wondered how the Amish keep their food fresh without refrigerators or freezers? Or what's behind their skill for preserving meat, fruits, and vegetables for months, even years, without any electricity? And here's the big question. Could these ancient methods help us rely less on modern gadgets and reduce waste, all while keeping us fed and secure? That's what we're diving into today. The Amish have mastered the art of food preservation with techniques that are not only fascinating but incredibly effective. From root cellars to drying meats, and even creating a superfood called pemmican, these methods are as useful today as they were centuries ago. Whether you're interested in sustainable living, self-sufficiency, or just making your food last naturally, there's a lot to learn from the Amish. Let's explore their world and see what timeless practices we can bring into our own lives. Section 1. Root cellars. Nature's refrigerator and the Amish way of life. Alright, let's start with something old yet incredibly practical, the root cellar. Root cellars have been around for centuries, and for the Amish, they're a crucial part of daily life, providing fresh food year-round. These underground storage spaces are designed to stay cool, damp, and dark, ideal conditions for preserving foods like root vegetables, fruits, and even certain cured meats. The concept behind root cellars. A root cellar works because it leverages the Earth's natural coolness and humidity. Usually buried underground or built into hillsides, these spaces stay around 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 40 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. This cool environment helps slow down the natural ripening and spoilage of vegetables and fruits. Think of it as a natural refrigerator without the carbon footprint. For the Amish, this isn't just an eco-friendly choice, it's a way of staying connected to the land. The cellar embodies their belief in working with, rather than against, nature. While many of us run to the store every few days, Amish families trust that their root cellars will provide enough sustenance to get them through winter. Building and maintaining a root cellar. Now, not just any hole in the ground makes a good root cellar. To be effective, Amish families carefully select the location, usually a hillside for drainage, and they put a lot of thought into construction. Most cellars have wooden or stone walls that help maintain a consistent temperature, and good ventilation is key. Without it, moisture can build up, leading to mold and mildew. The Amish take things a step further with how they store each item in the cellar. For instance, they know that apples give off ethylene gas, which can speed up the ripening of other produce, so they store apples separately or near the top where airflow is best. Potatoes are stacked in bins, and carrots are often stored in damp sand to keep them fresh. It's these small details that make the root cellar an effective tool for long-term storage. A community and family affair, harvest season is a big event in Amish communities. It's not unusual to see entire families working together to gather and store their crops. Children learn from a young age about the different methods of storing each type of produce, and they help with stacking, arranging, and even labeling bins. When the whole family is involved, it's more than just storage. It's a lesson in teamwork and responsibility. By the time winter arrives, the root cellar is like a pantry, stocked with everything they need, a visible reminder of the hard work that goes into their way of life. Section 2. Freezing food in winter's chill. Nature's way of long-term preservation. Now, here's a method that takes advantage of nature's cold grip during the winter months. Outdoor freezing. Imagine using winter itself as a giant freezer. That's exactly what Amish families do, and it's a reliable way to keep meats fresh without needing electricity. The practice of outdoor freezing. In winter, Amish families utilize the natural drop in temperature to preserve their meat. After butchering season, larger cuts are carefully prepared, wrapped, and placed outdoors to stay fresh. This turns their backyard into an effective, zero-energy freezer. The skill behind outdoor freezing. This may sound simple, but it takes skill and caution. Since snow or rain can damage the quality of the meat, the Amish use breathable covers like burlap to protect it. This lets air circulate without trapping too much moisture. With just the right setup, they can safely store meat outdoors for weeks or even months. What's really amazing is that this freezing process actually helps tenderize the meat. As ice crystals form, they gently break down some of the muscle fibers, making the meat softer and tastier when it's finally cooked. It's like nature's marinade, adding flavor with nothing more than cold air. Building community in the cold. During this time, it's not uncommon to see Amish children bundled up in warm clothes, checking on the meat or helping their parents with the setup. There's often laughter and shared excitement as everyone pitches in. The practice brings families together and reminds them of their connection to the land and to each other. In a way, it's about far more than just keeping food fresh. It's about passing down a tradition that emphasizes simplicity, resourcefulness, and community spirit. Section 3. Drying meat. Crafting the perfect snack and preserving protein. Now let's dive into a centuries-old technique that's both delicious and practical: drying meat. Amish jerky is famous, not just as a tasty snack, but as a preserved source of protein that lasts for months. For the Amish, dried meat is a staple they rely on through the seasons. And there's a fine art to getting it just right: the process of drying meat. To make jerky, Amish families begin by selecting high-quality cuts and slicing them into thin strips. They season these strips with salt and sometimes a hint of spice, then hang them in a warm, well-ventilated barn or even outside in sunny weather. This slow, careful drying process removes the moisture that bacteria need to grow, transforming fresh meat into a shelf-stable product that's both tasty and nutritious. The art of achieving perfect jerky. Amish jerky isn't just dried meat. It's crafted to be tender, flavorful, and long-lasting. Without any artificial preservatives, the seasoning itself acts as a natural barrier against spoilage. This way, they end up with a product that's both practical and delicious. It's balanced perfectly to be chewy, flavorful, and free of the toughness you find in store-bought varieties. Dried meat's versatile role. This jerky can be rehydrated to add a rich, meaty flavor to stews, soups, and casseroles. It's the ultimate multitasking food. So while we might think of jerky as a snack, for the Amish, it's a key ingredient that stretches their meals and adds protein to their diet. It's about getting the most out of what you have, and that's a principle we could all use a little more of. Section 4. Pressure canning, a modern preservation method with an Amish twist. Now, while the Amish tend to avoid modern technology, there is one method they've embraced: pressure canning. For them, pressure canning represents a way to preserve food that aligns with their values of simplicity, practicality, and self-sufficiency. How pressure canning works. Pressure canning involves placing jars filled with meats, vegetables, or soups into a high-pressure environment, creating a vacuum seal that keeps bacteria out. As the jars heat up, they reach temperatures high enough to destroy any microorganisms, creating a long-lasting preserve that can be stored for years. The Amish pantry, a symbol of security. A well-stocked pantry full of pressure-canned goods is a point of pride for many Amish families. Knowing that they have enough food for the winter, or even for emergencies, brings a sense of security that's invaluable. This is especially important because many Amish communities live far from grocery stores, so self-reliance is not just a choice, it's a necessity. Pressure canning as a family tradition. Pressure canning is often a family activity, with parents teaching their children the ins and outs of filling jars, sealing them properly, and maintaining the right pressure. It's not just about preserving food. It's about passing down skills that have practical value and instilling a sense of pride and independence in the younger generation. Section 5. Pemmican, the ultimate survival food. When it comes to long-term food preservation, the Amish have a treasure trove of techniques, and one of the most fascinating is pemmican. This traditional food is not just a relic of the past, it's a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Amish community. Let's dive into what pemmican is, its history, and why it remains a staple in Amish kitchens today. What is pemmican? Pemmican is a high-energy food made primarily from dried meat, rendered fat, and sometimes berries. This nutrient-dense concoction was originally developed by Native American tribes as a means of sustenance during long hunts and travels. The term pemmican is derived from the Cree word pemi, which means fat. The basic idea is simple. By combining dried meat with fat, the Amish create a product that can withstand the test of time. The fat acts as a preservative, preventing the meat from spoiling, while also providing a concentrated source of energy. The addition of berries not only enhances the flavor but also boosts the nutritional value by adding vitamins and antioxidants. The process of making pemmican. Making pemmican is a labor of love that involves several steps. First, the meat is carefully selected, often from game animals like deer, beef, or bison. It's then sliced into thin strips and dried thoroughly until it reaches a jerky-like texture. The drying process is crucial, as any remaining moisture can lead to spoilage. Next comes the rendering of fat, which is typically done using suet, the hard fat found around the kidneys of animals. The fat is heated until it melts, and the liquid is strained to remove any impurities. Once both components are ready, they are combined, often in a 1-to-1 ratio of dried meat to fat. The mixture can also include crushed berries, nuts, or spices, allowing families to tailor the flavor to their liking. Once mixed, the pemmican is shaped into small cakes or stored in jars. The final product is dense, portable, and packed with energy, perfect for the busy Amish lifestyle. A nutritional powerhouse, pemmican is incredibly nutrient-dense, making it an ideal food for the Amish, who often rely on physical labor. With its high-fat content, it provides sustained energy, which is especially beneficial during the demanding days of farming and other outdoor activities. The protein from the meat aids in muscle recovery, while the added berries provide a source of carbohydrates and essential vitamins. This balance makes pemmican an excellent choice for meals or snacks, especially when preparing for long days of work or travel. The history and cultural significance of pemmican. While pemmican may have Native American origins, the Amish have embraced this traditional food as part of their culinary heritage. It represents a connection to the land and a respect for sustainable practices. The ability to preserve meat and utilize every part of an animal is deeply rooted in their values. In addition to its practicality, pemmican is often prepared as part of community gatherings. Families may come together to make large batches, sharing recipes and techniques passed down through generations. This practice reinforces community bonds and ensures that valuable skills are not lost. Pemmican in modern times today. While many people may turn to convenience foods, the Amish continue to uphold the tradition of making pemmican. Its long shelf life means it can be stored for months or even years, making it a reliable food source during times of scarcity. As more people become interested in sustainable living and traditional food preservation techniques, pemmican is experiencing a resurgence in popularity. The Amish are often sought after for their expertise, and workshops on making pemmican are becoming increasingly common. So the next time you think about food preservation, consider pemmican. It's not just a survival food, it's a celebration of community, tradition, and the wisdom of generations. The Amish remind us that sometimes the simplest solutions, like drying meat and rendering fat, are the most effective. With pemmican, they've created a nutritious powerhouse that stands the test of time. Section 6. The importance of seasonal eating. One of the most profound aspects of the Amish lifestyle is their commitment to seasonal eating. Unlike many of us who can find a plethora of foods available year-round due to globalization and modern agriculture, the Amish rely heavily on what their local environment provides at different times of the year. Understanding seasonal cycles. For the Amish, food is deeply intertwined with the seasons. Spring brings fresh greens, early vegetables, and herbs. Summer offers an abundance of fruits and vegetables at their peak. Fall is the time for harvest and preserving the bounty, and winter is reserved for hardy, stored foods. This cycle fosters a deep respect for nature and its rhythms. By aligning their diets with the seasons, the Amish not only eat fresher and more flavorful foods, but also reduce their ecological footprint. They minimize the need for refrigeration and transportation of out-of-season produce. This is a lesson we can all embrace. Eating with the seasons not only enhances our meals, but also supports local farmers and reduces our impact on the environment. The art of foraging. The Amish also engage in foraging, which is gathering wild edible plants, fruits, and nuts that grow abundantly in their environment. This practice is an extension of their philosophy of sustainability. Not only do they enjoy the freshness of foraged foods, but they also reconnect with nature and learn to appreciate the resources it offers. For instance, wild mushrooms, berries, and nuts are often harvested and then preserved using methods we've discussed: canning, drying, or freezing. Foraging requires knowledge of the local ecosystem and a respect for nature, which the Amish embody. Creating a diverse pantry. By focusing on seasonal and foraged foods, Amish families create a diverse pantry stocked with a variety of preserved foods. This diversity not only provides nutrition, but also fosters creativity in cooking. With jars of pickled vegetables, dried fruits, and various meats, each meal can be a new adventure. Seasonal eating and foraging remind us of the importance of connection, not just to our food, but to the earth itself. In a world where convenience often trumps quality, the Amish offer a refreshing perspective on the richness that comes from engaging with nature's offerings. Section 7. Fermentation. Harnessing the power of probiotics. Another fascinating aspect of Amish food preservation is fermentation. This ancient technique not only extends the shelf life of food, but also enhances its flavor and nutritional value. The fermentation process. Fermentation involves the transformation of sugars in food into acids, gases, or alcohol by the action of microorganisms. The Amish commonly ferment vegetables, creating tangy pickles, sauerkraut, and kimchi. These fermented foods are rich in probiotics, which are beneficial for gut health and digestion. The Amish often use simple ingredients, cabbage, salt, and spices, to create delicious fermented products. By allowing the vegetables to ferment naturally, they harness the power of bacteria to create complex flavors and extend the food's lifespan. The health benefits of fermented foods. Fermented foods have been shown to support digestive health, boost the immune system, and even enhance mood. The Amish have long understood these benefits, integrating fermented foods into their diets to promote health and wellness. For them, food is not just about sustenance, it's about nourishing the body and soul. Community events centered around fermentation. Fermentation is also a community activity among the Amish. During harvest time, families often gather to share techniques, recipes, and the fruits of their labor. This social aspect not only strengthens community bonds, but also allows them to pass down traditional knowledge to the next generation. Fermenting foods together can be a fun and educational experience, fostering connections and creating a sense of belonging. It's a reminder that food preservation is not just an individual task, but a communal practice that enriches relationships and traditions. Section 8. The role of gardening in Amish life. At the heart of the Amish approach to food preservation is gardening. Every Amish family typically has a garden that serves as a vital resource for fresh produce and herbs. The garden as a source of nourishment. Gardens provide a wide array of vegetables and fruits, ensuring that families have access to fresh, organic food right outside their door. The Amish understand the importance of growing their own food, and they take great pride in the health and productivity of their gardens. From tomatoes and cucumbers to beans and pumpkins, the diversity in their gardens allows them to enjoy a variety of flavors and nutrients throughout the growing season. It also provides an opportunity to engage with nature, learn patience, and cultivate a sense of responsibility. The skill of crop rotation. The Amish practice crop rotation, which helps maintain soil health and fertility. By rotating different types of crops in and out of the garden, they prevent soil depletion and reduce pests. This practice is a testament to their understanding of sustainable farming methods, which have been passed down through generations. Crop rotation not only benefits the soil, but also ensures that the garden produces healthy, nutrient-rich food. It embodies the principles of balance and respect for the land, showing us how traditional wisdom can still apply in modern gardening. Sharing the bounty. The abundance of their gardens often leads to sharing within the community. Amish families frequently exchange produce with their neighbors, creating a strong sense of camaraderie and support. This practice reinforces community bonds and fosters a spirit of generosity. By sharing their harvests, they celebrate the season's bounty together. This sense of community is a beautiful reminder of the interconnectedness we all share, whether we live in a rural setting or an urban one. Section 9. Sustainable livestock practices. In addition to gardening, livestock plays a significant role in the Amish way of life. Raising animals not only provides food, but also contributes to sustainable farming practices. The benefits of raising animals. Many Amish families raise chickens, cows, pigs, and goats. These animals provide eggs, milk, and meat, contributing to their self-sufficiency. By keeping livestock, they ensure that their families have access to high-quality protein and dairy products. Furthermore, livestock contributes to soil health. Manure from animals is often used as a natural fertilizer, enriching the soil and promoting healthy plant growth. This closed-loop system exemplifies sustainability and harmony with nature, reducing reliance on chemical fertilizers. Animal welfare and ethical farming. The Amish are known for their humane treatment of animals. They believe in allowing their livestock to live naturally, grazing on pasture and living in clean, comfortable conditions. This ethical approach not only benefits the animals but also results in higher quality meat and dairy products. For the Amish, caring for animals is a responsibility and a privilege. They teach their children the importance of respect for all living beings, fostering a sense of compassion and stewardship that lasts a lifetime. The role of livestock in community. Livestock also plays a role in community life. During community gatherings, it's common for families to showcase their best animals, sharing breeding techniques and tips. These events foster camaraderie and encourage the exchange of knowledge and support among families. This community spirit extends to helping each other with farm chores, including caring for livestock. It's a reminder that we are all interconnected and that cooperation can lead to greater success. Section 10. A lesson in resilience and adaptation. Through exploring the Amish methods of food preservation, we discover not only practical techniques, but also deeper lessons in resilience and adaptation. Facing challenges with ingenuity. The Amish have faced many challenges over the years, from changing weather patterns to market pressures. However, their commitment to self-sufficiency and sustainable practices has allowed them to adapt. They continuously learn and innovate while staying true to their values. For instance, when faced with a particularly harsh winter, they might shift their focus from outdoor freezing to canning more food in preparation for future shortages. This ability to adapt is essential in a world where uncertainty is often the norm. Cultivating a mindset of gratitude. One of the most beautiful aspects of the Amish way of life is their focus on gratitude. They view their ability to preserve food and share resources as blessings. This mindset fosters appreciation for both the land and the community. By cultivating gratitude, they build resilience in the face of challenges. When the going gets tough, they can lean on their sense of community and their rich traditions, reminding us all of the importance of connection and appreciation. Inspiring a modern audience. The lessons learned from the Amish can inspire modern audiences to rethink their relationship with food, community, and sustainability. By embracing some of their practices, we can foster a sense of resilience in our own lives, empowering us to face challenges head-on. Whether it's starting a small garden, learning to can, or forming deeper connections with our neighbors, there's so much potential for growth and learning from the Amish. Conclusion. The timeless wisdom of the Amish. As we wrap up our exploration of Amish food preservation techniques, let's reflect on the timeless wisdom embedded in their way of life. These practices go beyond mere survival. They are about thriving in harmony with nature and building strong, interconnected communities. Embracing simplicity and sustainability. The Amish remind us that simplicity can lead to a more sustainable lifestyle. By making conscious choices about our food, we can reduce waste and support local ecosystems. Their commitment to seasonal eating and foraging encourages us to reconnect with nature and appreciate the abundance around us. Building community connections. The communal aspect of Amish life teaches us the value of relationships. Whether it's sharing meals, exchanging produce, or collaborating on projects, the strength of community is crucial in navigating life's challenges. We can all benefit from fostering connections and supporting one another. Adapting and innovating for the future. The ability to adapt and innovate is a vital skill in today's world. The Amish show us that we can learn from the past while being open to new ideas. By combining traditional wisdom with modern practices, we can create a more sustainable and resilient future. So, as you consider the Amish approach to food preservation and sustainable living, think about how these lessons can be integrated into your own life. Whether it's through gardening, foraging, or simply appreciating the food on your table, there are countless ways to embrace the spirit of resilience and connection. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Amish culture. If you found this exploration enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who might be interested in learning about sustainable living and the wisdom of simpler times. Until next time, let's continue to cherish our food, our communities, and our connection to the earth.